Diss tracks have become a common part of the rap game. It's no question that Eminem is the king of diss tracks. But what about the rappers who decide to diss the king? Well, there are very few who have actually dissed Eminem, such as MGK.
You know, I know your feud with Eminem. Was Eminem a hero to you? Because
yeah, for sure.
The guy's a great rapper. Does it personally pain you that you have this feud with this guy?
I don't feel any type of way about it. I mean, I'm like asleep in my tour bus. This guy drops an album with like 3 songs consecutively talking about me. What do you think I'm gonna do? Just, you know what I mean? Like roll over and go back to sleep? Out of here. You're not gonna me. So no, like I'm like.
Now, Eminem and MGK have had a beef for many years now, with many different diss tracks on each other, but what stood out specifically was the diss tracks that Eminem dropped on MGK in 2018 alongside his surprise album, known as Kamikaze. Now, if you didn't know, this whole album was released to basically get back at all of the haters of Eminem, one of those being MGK, who M has been beefing with for many years now. Now, there's nobody Eminem loves more than his daughter, so when MGK decided to mention Haley in a tweet calling her attractive, Eminem would not take this lightly. It said, to this day, MGK still faces backlash from his tweet that he made. So Eminem decided to release the track titled Not Alike, where he called out MGK for tweeting about his daughter, stating that he is no threat when it comes to the rap game. MGK tried to retaliate back with the diss on Eminem titled Rap Devil, which was absolutely blown away with Eminem's response titled K-Shot. Eminem's diss was so harsh to the point that MGK had nothing to say even in a response.
His last, like on this, yes. I had a clip ready. I'll tell you, I had a clip ready. I heard your and I put that back in the holster. I'm like, oh, word. All right. He called me a mumble rapper.
But even more crazy is that this was enough to cause MGK to fade away from the rap scene completely. Ever since Eminem released K-Shot, MGK would forever be different. He started slowly changing his style. So if you're ever wondering why MGK decided to quit rapping and release emo rock music, well, now you know exactly why. It's crazy how powerful Eminem's words are. They were able to completely end a music career. But let's be honest, MGK is much better off doing what he is doing now opposed to rapping. Also, leave a like on the video if you're a fan of Eminem. I'm curious how many fans are watching today. Now, coming up next, we have quite possibly the biggest feud in rap history, the beef between Eminem and Ja Rule. It is pretty evident that Eminem still has pretty harsh feelings towards Ja, as this feud started off way back when 50 Cent was first starting his own music career. Now, 50 Cent decided to talk to Ja Rule about signing to his label, but Ja would then laugh in 50 Cent's face, and even went on to diss 50 Cent, stating that he was just jealous and that he was the official rapper of Queens in New York City, and not 50 Cent. Now, things actually got physical, to the point where Ja Rule and 50 Cent threw hands at an Atlanta nightclub. So where does Eminem come into play? Well, as many of you know, 50 Cent went on to sign with Eminem's record label, and one of the first singles that he released was titled Wanksta, which was directed at Ja Rule. Ja then came back with a diss titled Loose Chains, where he not only went after 50 Cent, but also Eminem, D12, G-Unit, and Dr. Dre. But there was also a sneak diss towards Eminem's daughter.
Like, I wasn't even gonna say nothing, to be honest with you. I didn't even address them directly until, like, Ja had said something about Haley.
Now, Ja Rule made the mistake of mentioning Eminem's daughter Haley in the lyrics, where Ja would say, and I quote, "Hey Eminem, you claim your mother uses, and Kim is known to get around. So what's Haley gonna do when she grows up?" Now, Eminem decided to come back at full force, releasing 2 diss tracks on Ja Rule, the first titled Hail Mary, which featured 50 Cent and Busta Rhymes. He then released a second track, which literally tore Ja Rule's entire character down, as this was the one called Do Re Me. The 2 tracks tore Ja Rule to bits. Line for line, it was just straight up dissing towards the rapper. But when everyone thought Ja Rule was done, he then responded with his own diss track titled In My Eye, which was known to be one of the weakest diss tracks of all time in the music industry. In fact, it was so bad that Ja Rule pretty much lost his entire fan base. And it was all because he decided to drop a diss track on Eminem. Not only did Eminem's response diss tracks win over the fans, but it was also this interview where he said this.
But also at the same time, wanting to be a father, and if there ever comes a day that I would have to pick one or the other, you know, I already know what it would be. You know what I'm saying? I would walk away from all of this.
Now, the beef with Ja Rule would end the same way as Eminem's beef did with Everlast, as the whole dispute began back in the year 2000, when Eminem apparently walked by Everlast backstage without ever acknowledging him. This was apparently the last straw for the New York rapper, who would go on to write diss tracks on Eminem, as in his track Eardrums Pop Remix. But sure enough, Eminem was not gonna let this slide, as he would release a follow-up diss track titled I Remember, which addressed all of the disses that Everlast has ever thrown at him. Line by line, Eminem tore down Everlast's comments. But Everlast was not gonna back down either, returning once again with another diss song towards Eminem titled Whitey's Revenge, which was a bit controversial in the sense that it just went way too far, mentioning Eminem's daughter Haley. And for those who are not aware, there is nothing in the world Eminem loves more than his daughter, as mentioned by Eminem himself.
First of all, to watch your mouth, because you talked about my little girl, which is, you know, talk about my mother all you want, talk about my wife, talk about whatever you want to say. The one thing that I hold sacred to me is my little girl.
So when Everlast included her in the diss, Eminem was certainly not happy, as fans knew that Eminem would bite back stronger than ever. And sure enough, he would release his track titled Quitter, as in the diss track, Eminem throws disses at Everlast by stating that he has absolutely zero talent, and clearly wants to both sing and rap, but he cannot do either. He also ended up making fun of Everlast's weight, while also going after his character for bringing his daughter into the mix, as Eminem even said this on the live news.
I think he knows that he can't outrhyme me, so the only thing he can do is try to take personal shots, like your daughter, your little girl, you know, that's all I can do because I'm fat and I'm old and I can't rhyme.
And to top things off, Eminem would go on to state that the two should stop dissing each other over their songs and instead make it physical. And ever since Eminem brought up that, Everlast has never mentioned Eminem's name again. This would then lead into the next rapper known as Royce da 5'9". Surprisingly, the two were actually a team together under the Bad Beats label back in the day, and the two went on to create some pretty amazing tracks together. That was until they started beefing. It started when D12 went on to diss Royce in the track titled Don't Try This at Home. Things got heated, as D12 would then drop another diss on Royce titled Smackdown, calling him out for talking down on D12 in a recent interview. But it's important to note that Eminem had nothing to do with these two diss tracks on Royce, not even being a feature or part of the production. But oddly enough, once Royce responded to D12's disses with a diss track titled We Riding, this ended up being completely targeted at Eminem. Eminem was very confused, as he had nothing to even do with this beef. But surprisingly, instead of hitting Royce back with a diss track, Eminem took it maturely, calling Royce on the phone to clarify why he would even diss him in the first place. Now, the feud ended up getting settled. The two making up would even collaborate on another track in the future, so it would look like Eminem does show some sort of restraint when it comes to dissing his friends. Now, since Royce never actually dissed Eminem, but rather spoke about his feelings, it makes sense why Eminem didn't want to go off on him. But this doesn't mean that Eminem won't diss a rapper first, as mumble rapper Lil Pump would not get the same treatment as Royce, as Lil Pump posted this on his Instagram page a few years back, alongside a photo with this caption, "I'm the real Slim Shady." And if you know Eminem, he dislikes mumble rappers in a huge way, so this didn't settle well with him at all. This is when we would see Eminem respond to Lil Pump in these song lyrics. Lil Pump, imitate Lil Wayne. I should aim at everyone in the game. Pick a name. I'm fed up with being humble, and the rumor is I'm hungry. I'm sure you heard bumblings. I heard you want to rumble like an empty. Now, Eminem would then post this to his Instagram with a caption saying, I tried not to overthink this one. Enjoy. Where Lil Pump would actually respond on Instagram saying, thank you, I deserved that, as Lil Pump is proving that he knew better than to go after the GOAT.